You've had a disaster.
Definitely, absolutely. The cake hasn't cooked. I spent too long on the ice cream and I didn't give myself enough time for the cake.
Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 MasterChef disasters.
It's not a chocolate brownie. It's a hockey puck. That's horrendous.
For this list, we're going to be looking at the worst dishes and biggest failures in the UK's numerous versions of MasterChef, including Celebrity MasterChef and The Professionals. Let us know in the comments what you'd cook if you were a contestant. Number 10, spreadsheet. Tony's got something none of the other competitors does. A great honkin' spreadsheet.
In my company world, spreadsheets are used a lot. So I've made a spreadsheet that's my plan for my menu.
He says he needs to ensure he's on track and gets everything right, but it doesn't work out. His first dish is flawed from the beginning as a bizarre mushroom risotto that was absolutely tiny.
It's under-seasoned, the mushrooms are slimy, and it's not a dish. I think you're being generous saying it's not generous, to be honest. I think it's just a side.
The single mushroom on top was unpleasant, and there wasn't nearly enough of the sauce.
It's cream and mushroom soup with a big pile of rice in the middle of it. I'm really sorry, that's odd.
His second dish wasn't great either, as his turbot fillet was sadly undercooked.
My fish is undercooked, actually. So I'm struggling to eat this really generous piece of turbot, but it is not cooked through.
Though he tried his best, and you could tell he had a lot of ideas and skill, this was the end of the road for Tony. Number 9, chocolate fondant. Jen made some bold decisions during this challenge, deciding to serve not only a rack of lamb, but chocolate fondants for dessert.
Rack of lamb. Why do they do it? Honestly, I think there's some real technical challenges, getting the crust right, the meat to be cooked perfectly.
Her skills aren't in doubt. She wins the guests over with the rack of lamb, and the dessert is a success. But it almost didn't make it onto the plate.
How are the fondants looking? Are they going to be all right?
I think so. I might just give them 30 seconds, but it's still a bit wet on the top.
She was so nervous when plating up the fondants that she kept dropping them. Hands very clearly shaking. Half of one fondant even goes on the plate, though she manages to salvage it.
Oh my God.
Oh, crying out loud! Please don't drop this one. Oh! Sorry, force of habit there.
None of the pudding goes on the floor, thankfully, and the guests don't notice their slightly damaged desserts as they enjoy those rich chocolate flavours.
It's really deep chocolatey flavour, which is what I want.
Number 8, truck stop food. Though in day-to-day life, the taste of food is what matters most of all, presentation counts for a lot when you're on a heated competition like MasterChef. That was the problem with Sarah's crepe soufflé.
Sarah's dessert is cardamom and chai tea crepe soufflé with a pineapple and black peppercorn puree and chocolate sauce.
They said it looked like something you'd get from a budget food truck rather than a high-end restaurant.
It looks a bit like a bit truck stop food.
Oh no.
In fairness, that pineapple puree did look a bit like it had already been digested. When the judges tasted the dish, they said it was delicious and the flavours were strong, but they couldn't hide how abysmal they thought her presentation was.
Well, it certainly tastes better than it looks, by a long way. I mean, you've got some really lovely flavours there.
Still, some of the others didn't produce dishes half as tasty, even if they looked a lot nicer.
It looks awful, but it tastes really good.
Number 7, full English. Can you mess up a meal as classic as a full English breakfast? Well, maybe. This week the contestants were challenged to make a fry-up with a twist, but the twist was up to them.
It's going to have to be really good, because there can't be that many variations on an English breakfast, so it's got to stand out.
Gregg's may have been the weirdest, as he served all the flavours of the breakfast in a tiny little eggshell.
It just looks like a boiled egg. You put your spoon into the bottom, and you're getting a mouthful of all sorts. You're going to have fresh, you're going to have honey, you're going to have the salty bacon, you're going to have the sausage, you have the cream and the egg and the salt and the chives.
One bite and you'd get bacon, sausage, egg and even honey. It sounds nice, but it's way too small. Chris also cooks up something weird, stuffing fried bread with black pudding and wrapping a poached egg in potato spaghetti and frying it. Finally though, there's Erin, who says she hates a full English and would rather eat anything else.
Do you indulge in the odd fry-up, Erin?
I couldn't think of anything worse. Ooh.
Number 6, smoked chicken and beetroot. David's got a baffling dish designed to stand out from the crowd this time.
David's main, he's got loads of flavours going on, but also lots of complex processes. I'm worried that he's not going to get all those done in time.
He definitely did stand out, but for all the wrong reasons, as he served a starter that was smoked chicken with a beetroot sorbet and blue cheese salad. The guests were baffled by the idea of making a beetroot sorbet, not to mention that the chicken wasn't cooked properly and tasted of firewood.
We've actually got a sorbet which is dessert-like, a crazy creamy pile of blue cheese, soupy vegetables, and chicken which is so overly smoked that it's hardly palatable.
John and Gregg quite liked it when they tried the dish, but David's experimentation didn't pay off. His main was even more eclectic, serving slow-roasted pork with carrot ketchup and pumpkin seed pesto.
Well, this definitely does look better than the last course that we were presented with.
But that one they actually enjoyed.
After his first course, this is almost a masterpiece.
Number 5, Marcus Butler. YouTuber Marcus Butler didn't blow the guests away during his turn on Celebrity MasterChef. He was trying to make some healthy vegan brownies that were just as tasty and indulgent as regular ones, but absolutely nothing went as planned.
Are the nuts crunched up when you put them in?
I did it all, I just forgot to
Put them in, mix it through. There you go, look.
He had to take the brownie mix out because he forgot to add nuts the first time and stir it back up, but in the end, his dessert was never really gonna work. When the guests tucked in, they were quickly disappointed.
Oh. That is absolutely sticking to my teeth.
The brownies were solid, sticky, burned, and impossible to chew. None of them enjoyed it, and most didn't even finish it.
The brownie should be spongy, light, delicious. That is, unfortunately, it's burnt. It's like a chewy toffee.
At least Marcus knew he'd gotten it wrong.
Everything went wrong, so I feel like this is kind of like the one that you have to nail, and I didn't nail it.
Number 4, Catherine's dessert. Our hearts broke for Catherine when her sticky toffee pudding didn't work out. She just took too long making other things and didn't leave enough time for it to go in the oven, and it was nowhere near done.
But there's less than 10 minutes to go. Her pudding is going to take 9 minutes to cook, and she's still making it. We've got issues, big issues.
Forced to plate up, what she presented was a gooey brown mess on a plate. Her ice cream didn't have time to set either. To make matters more tragic, John and Gregg praised the flavours and said the dessert was delicious.
The flavours are great. Unfortunately, we have no texture whatsoever. That hasn't gone right at all, which is a crying shame because the flavours are really lovely.
If only she'd had enough time, this would have been one of the best puddings the show had ever seen. It was devastating to watch her get eliminated that week, though she was positive about it as always.
I'm incredibly proud, yeah, I'm incredibly proud. I've learnt an awful lot during my time here. My cooking skills have really improved.
Number 3, raw meat. It's not often a dish gets brought out that John and Gregg will refuse to eat, but that happened twice on Sunita's brief run on Celebrity MasterChef in 2016. The worst offender was the beef and spinach concoction she made at the end, where the beef was totally raw.
Sort of cross between a steak tartare and a
No,
burger.
it's supposed to be cooked.
Cooked, it could maybe be quite nice.
It's true you can have rare beef, but this was anything but, and could have easily made someone sick.
I don't know what to say, because the meat and the pastry are raw, and it's a meat and pastry dish. Not good, I'm afraid.
Earlier on, she cooked up some aubergine and lamb mince, only for the judges to find that the lamb was raw as well.
That's raw meat.
Finally, she cooked cod soup, but left the skin on. It was no surprise to see her kicked off first, with many wondering how she got on the show at all. Number 2, Mark storms out. Another celebrity unfit for the kitchen, soap star Mark Morgan, lost his cool while cooking a celeriac puree that was way too runny.
Do you know what? Stick it up your
Mark swore and took off, shocking his fellow celebs and leaving Marcus to go hunt him down.
You haven't seen a chef come running out of here about a minute ago? Yeah. Which way did he go?
This happened right when Mark was actually supposed to be serving his food. Eventually, he did come back and had to apologise to the guests, then finish off his courses.
Look, I've just flipped. I apologise to everybody for flipping, but the pressure has just got to me big time today.
Yeah, but listen, don't blame me.
No, I'm not blaming you per se.
Marcus gave him a winning pep talk, and after that point, all the judges kept a close eye on Mark.
First of all, you won't forget it. B, it'll make you a stronger person. And C, Mark, you've got to go out and win it.
In the end, he lost out to Liz of Atomic Kitten. Maybe if he didn't blow his top, it would be a different story. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Number 1. Fish omelette. You generally expect the professionals to do a lot better than the amateurs on the normal version of the show, but that wasn't the case for Jordan. Unfortunately, the show has quite a wide definition for professional chef.
And I'm actually a pastry chef, so this is testing all of my knowledge, really.
Jordan's a pastry chef and is totally out of his depth when given a cod head to experiment with.
I'm just trying to work out where the meat might be hiding.
Where the meat might be hiding?
Yeah.
And the cheeks, maybe?
Out of his 2 ideas to cook either some bayonets or a fish omelette, he chose the omelette, despite the fact a bayonet is a pastry, so he'd at least be in his element.
You do the omelette or the beignets?
I'm going to do the omelette.
Fish omelette?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I had a cod omelette.
Though you wouldn't want a fish bayonet either. The judges refused to eat it because the fish was probably undercooked, but you couldn't help but feel for Jordan.
There's no way I'm eating this. You've chopped up some cod, thrown it in a pan and broken eggs into it. I don't even know if that cod's cooked.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo UK and subscribe for more great content.